Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Divide into segments. Segment an orange. One of several parts or pieces that fit with others to constitute a whole object. Finished the final segment of the road. Divide or split up. The cells segmented. One of the parts into which something naturally divides. A segment of an orange. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. He always turns first to the business section. A specialized division of a large organization. She got a job in the historical section of the Treasury. The cutting of or into body tissues or organs, especially by a surgeon as part of an operation. Geometry, the area created by a plane cutting through a solid. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The finance section of the company. A small class of students who are part of a larger course but are taught separately. A graduate student taught sections for the professor's lecture course. Divide into segments. One of several parts or pieces that fit with others to constitute a whole object. A section of a fishing rod. A distinct region or subdivision of a territorial or political area or community or group of people. No section of the nation is more ardent than the South. A division of an orchestra containing all instruments of the same class. A land unit equal to 1 square mile. A segment of a citrus fruit. He ate a section of the orange. A small army unit usually having a special function. A small team of policemen working as part of a police platoon. A very thin slice of tissue or mineral or other substance for examination under a microscope. Sections from the left ventricle showed diseased tissue. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. The government must do its part. To some extent, in some degree, not wholly. I felt partly to blame. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. A portion of a natural object. They analyzed the river into 3 parts. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The rear part of the house. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The written part of the exam. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The business partners broke over a tax question. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. He tried to sing the tenor part. Force, take, or pull apart. Moses parted the Red Sea. An item that is an instance of some type. My dog swallowed a Lego part. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. His part was right in the middle. Leave. The extended spatial location of something. Religions in all parts of the world. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. He wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. She played the part of Desdemona. Come apart. That which concerns a person with regard to a particular role or situation. It requires vigilance on our part. Perform a division. Can you divide 49 by 7? Act as a barrier between. Stand between. The mountain range divides the two countries. Separate into parts or portions. Divide the cake into 3 equal parts. Force, take, or pull apart. A ridge of land that separates 2 adjacent river systems. Make a division or separation. Come apart. A serious disagreement between 2 groups of people, typically producing tension or hostility. Treat differently on the basis of sex or race. Act as a barrier between. Stand between. Have the connection undone, having become separate. Arrange or order by classes or categories. Become separated into pieces or fragments. Separate into parts or portions. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The couple separated after 25 years of marriage. Force, take, or pull apart. He separated the fighting children. Divide into 2 or more branches so as to form a fork. Make a division or separation. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Standing apart. Not attached to or supported by anything. A house with a separate garage. Mark as different. Come apart. The 2 pieces that we had glued separated. A separately printed article that originally appeared in a larger publication. A garment that can be purchased separately and worn in combinations with other garments. Divide into components or constituents. Independent. Not united or joint. A problem consisting of 2 separate issues. Separated according to race, sex, class, or religion. Separate but equal. An individual quantity of food or drink taken as part of a meal. His portion was larger than hers. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The allotment of some amount by dividing something. Money or property brought by a woman to her husband at marriage. Give out. Your overall circumstances or condition in life, including everything that happens to you. Success that was her portion. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. I read a portion of the manuscript. Repair by adding pieces. She pieced the china cup. A portion of a natural object. He needed a piece of granite. Eat intermittently. Take small bites of. He pieced at the sandwich all morning. An item that is an instance of some type. He designed a new piece of equipment. A share of something. A period of indeterminate length, usually short, marked by some action or condition. I need to rest for a piece. A musical work that has been created. A work of art of some artistic value. It is not known who created this piece. An instance of some kind. It was a nice piece of work. Create by putting components or members together. She pieced a quilt. A portable gun. Game equipment consisting of an object used in playing certain board games. He sacrificed a piece to get a strategic advantage. To join or unite the pieces of. A serving that has been cut from a larger portion. A piece of pie. A distance. It is down the road a piece. An artistic or literary composition. He wrote an interesting piece on Iran. A separate part of a whole. An important piece of the evidence. Join during spinning. Piece the broken pieces of thread, slivers, and rovings. Divide into syllables. Utter with distinct articulation of each syllable. Divide into syllables. Syllabify the words. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. 1 of 4 equal parts. A quarter of a pound. The rear part of a ship. Provide housing for military personnel. A district of a city having some distinguishing character. A 4th part of a year, 3 months. Unemployment fell during the last quarter. An unspecified person. He dropped a word in the right quarter. A quarter of a hundredweight, 25 pounds. A quarter of a hundredweight, 28 pounds. A United States or Canadian coin worth 1/4 of a dollar. He fed 4 quarters into the slot machine. A unit of time equal to 15 minutes or a quarter of an hour. It's a quarter till 4. Clemency or mercy shown to a defeated opponent. He surrendered but asked for quarter. Divide by 4. Divide into quarters. Divide into quarters. Quarter an apple. Football, professional basketball, one of 4 divisions into which some games are divided. Both teams scored in the first quarter. One of 4 periods into which the school year is divided. The fall quarter ends at Christmas. One of the 4 major division of the compass. The wind is coming from that quarter. Piece of leather that comprises the part of a shoe or boot covering the heel and joining the vamp. Divide into syllables. Divide into syllables. Utter with distinct articulation of each syllable. The poet syllabized the verses he read. A section of a section. A part of a part, i.e., a part of something already divided. The trace of a point whose direction of motion changes. Form a curl, curve, or kink. Turn sharply. Change direction abruptly. Curved segment, of a road or river or railroad track, etc. The property possessed by the curving of a line or surface. Bend or cause to bend. The road curved sharply. Extend in curves and turns. Form an arch or curve. Her hips curve nicely. A pitch of a baseball that is thrown with spin so that its path curves as it approaches the batter. A line on a graph representing data. Panel forming the lower part of an interior wall when it is finished differently from the rest of the wall. A rectangular groove cut into a board so that another piece can fit into it. Cut a dado into or fit into a dado. Provide with a dado. The owners wanted to dado their dining room. The section of a pedestal between the base and the surbase. Look through a book or other written material. She leafed through the volume. The main organ of photosynthesis and transpiration in higher plants. A sheet of any written or printed material, especially in a manuscript or book. Hinged or detachable flat section, as of a table or door. Produce leaves, of plants. Turn over pages. Leaf through a book. Continuance in time. He complained about the length of time required. Size of the gap between two places. He determined the length of the shortest line segment joining the 2 points. A section of something that is long and narrow. A length of timber. The linear extent in space from one end to the other. The longest dimension of something that is fixed in place. The length of the table was 5 feet. The property of being the extent of something from beginning to end. The editor limited the length of my article to 500 words. Characterized by honesty and fairness. Straight dealing. In a forthright manner, candidly or frankly. Told me straight out. A straight segment of a roadway or racecourse. Rigidly conventional or old-fashioned. Without evasion or compromise. He is not being as straightforward as it appears. Successive, without a break. Sick for 5 straight days. Accurately fitted. Level. A person having a sexual orientation to persons of the opposite sex. No longer coiled. Without deviation. Of an alcoholic drink, without water. Erect in posture. Sit straight. A poker hand with 5 consecutive cards, regardless of suit. Following a correct or logical method. Straight reasoning. Free from curves or angles. A straight line. Having no deviations. Straight lines. In keeping with the facts. Set the record straight. Neatly arranged, not disorderly. The room is straight now. Not homosexual. Of hair, having no waves or curls. Her naturally straight hair hung long and silky. A straight segment of a roadway or racecourse. Performed with little or no delay. A straightaway denial. Without delay or hesitation, with no time intervening. Found an answer straightaway. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. A section of a section. A part of a part, i.e., a part of something already divided. A division of some larger or more complex organization. An area composed of subdivided lots. The act of subdividing. Division of something previously divided. Turn from a straight course, fixed direction, or line of interest. movement that causes the formation of a curve. Bend a joint. Bend your knees. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. A bend of his elbow. Cuz, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Bend the rod. Form a curve. The stick does not bend. Curved segment, of a road or river or railroad track, etc. A circular segment of a curve. A bend in the road. Bend one's back forward from the waist on down. Diagonal line traversing a shield from the upper right corner to the lower left. A town in central Oregon at the eastern foot of the Cascade Range. Change direction. The road bends. One of a series of similar body segments into which some animals are divided longitudinally. A segment of a stem between two nodes. One of a series of similar body segments into which some animals are divided longitudinally. One of the segments into which a myofibril is divided. An organization regarded as part of a larger social group. The coach said the offensive unit did a good job. Any division of quantity accepted as a standard of measurement or exchange. The dollar is the United States unit of currency. An assemblage of parts that is regarded as a single entity. The team is a unit. A single undivided natural thing occurring in the composition of something else. Units of nucleic acids. An individual or group or structure or other entity regarded as a structural or functional constituent of a whole. The reduced the number of units and installations. A single undivided whole. An idea is not a unit that can be moved from one brain to another. Not injured or harmed. An assemblage of parts that is regarded as a single entity. How big is that part compared to the whole? Acting together as a single undiversified whole. Exhibiting or restored to vigorous good health. Whole in mind and body. To a complete degree or to the full or entire extent, whole, is often used informally for wholly. A whole new idea. All of something including all its component elements or parts. Europe considered as a whole. Including all components without exception. Being one unit or constituting the full amount or extent or duration, complete. Gave his whole attention. Of siblings, having the same parents. Whole brothers and sisters.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.